Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm your host, Sabrina Ryan.
I'm Justin for Action.
I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
And I'm Phillip Ellis, and we are here today to discuss The Magicians, Season 2, Episode 5, Cheat Day.
Yay. I just want to, pat myself on the back to say we're at Episode 5 and we haven't started airing yet. This has never been this ahead in my life for this podcast.
This is new for all of us.
A new day is dawning.
Normally it's like, I got ahead. I did 2 in advance, and then I'm scrambling to fucking get the other recordings done the day before. Yeah, we're here to talk Cheat Day. I like this season, but I think this is when it hits a little bit of a slump. Sabrina, what do you think of this episode?
I like this episode, but I get what you're saying. I understand that the momentum of the season ends up getting kind of broken, but I really like this episode. It's so twisted and weird and ugly, and I hate explaining it, this is going to be a tough episode.
Yes.
But it's got great moments, and it is one of those episodes that stuck with me from the show. I mean, lots of them have, but I think about Emily Greenstreet's fucked up situation a lot.
Yeah. Phillip, what do you think?
Yeah, same. We've finally kind of concluded the saga of the Beast, and we're kind of in between storylines at the moment. And it's a complaint that I had when I was on to discuss Episode 3 a couple of weeks ago, how Season 2 is sort of a season of 2 or 3 parts, and it's not one whole narrative arc the way that it kind of is moving forward with 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, it's a downer, and there is some really dark, harrowing stuff going on, especially in Julia's storyline, and then Quentin's life. You know how they always contrast the colors of the worlds in this. They just make Quentin's life look even grayer and drabber than usual, and he's just hanging out with this sad alcoholic who masturbates in her office. And but there is
Get my sister's name out of your mouth.
But I like some of the stuff in this, and there's some interesting stuff with the magic and the trauma. And we finally get the Mayakovsky origin story and more of that batshit accent. So there's always stuff to like in a Magician's episode, even when it's a weird or bad one.
Yeah, there definitely is. Justin, what do you think of this one?
It was a great episode for me because I was thinking back to something we talked about yesterday. We're comparing this season to season 1. These kids are adulting now.
Yeah.
They have serious problems they need to deal with, not just death and other horrible things happening to characters as well. There's also this whole idea that we're getting a lot of really parallel plots, and I love it when this show does that, because I hate it when they separate characters in different groups, but you've got one character that wants their magic back, one character that doesn't want to do it anymore, and then one character who is dealing with this issue that she can't solve with magic. So they always do a great job at doing that. So it was a good episode for me.
All right, cool. I'm glad to know that I'm mostly in the minority for the opinion of this episode. Goes, oh boy. It was too bleak for me. It was every section of this episode was that gray that you mentioned, Phillip, and I was like, I need one of them to be right. I felt like I was getting sads just from being in this episode for 45 minutes. So before we get the credits, we kind of set up everything. Penny's meeting with Dean Fogg. His hands, he fixed them, but they're not working for magic. I really appreciate the Dean has this very commanding, respectable demeanor and voice, and then he's like, I don't fucking know, what do you want me to do? You're an adult, and I appreciate that.
I love Dean Fogg so much.
Yeah, he's great. He sends Penny to Mayakovsky. He also says he can send him somewhere where magic doesn't matter, which we didn't quite clarify, but he says it, so I assume he got Quentin the job because of Emily. It's I guess that's where they send people.
It's where they kind of disappear their disgraced students. So I guess if you're not as evil as Marina, well, not evil, we love her, but she's a problematic fave, let's say.
She didn't kill someone in season 1, so we could say evil.
She got expelled, and it's right, we wipe your memory and send you back. But if it's just you don't want to be there anymore because you're sad and you've done some weird shit, they send you to do like data entry in Midtown.
Which is
I mean, the great thing is it's so similar to most of the jobs in Midtown, which is like nobody
Yeah.
knows if you're working or not. The company card is not monitored. You can just jerk off in your office. Nobody cares. Everyone is.
Literally, it's like when I came to New York a couple of years ago, and on Grindr, every single guy's profile was just, "Oh, I work in tech."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? What do you mean?
It means they switch between tabs from YouPorn to YouTube to fix like a server error, and then they go back.
When I worked at Adweek, where the office was in Midtown, there were people in that office that I was like, I don't understand what that person does. Like, there was like, so Adweek was weird because they still, when I worked there, were in print as well. So there was like the website side and the imprint side. The imprint side felt like a cartoon of a newsroom. There was this older woman who would sit loudly just having a conversation with her friend on her work phone, like all day. And I'd be like, can't she just like go somewhere? I don't want to have to hear but I would hear her whole conversation every day. And I was like, this woman is not working. What are we doing? But like, she had a good time. Good for her.
Former witch, former
Yeah,
magician.
exactly. Yeah. He asked, where did you send Quentin? We do see the boring job. I do like the like coworker coming in to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And Quentin's just like, I don't fucking care. Like,
A fun detail that I spotted is that we get to later. Emily Greenstreet has the same like depressing coffee maker and little pods in her apartment as they have in the office.
I love that.
Oh, bleak. Bleak. But the Diet Coke at the office just tastes special.
Post credits. We'll do Penny's storyline first, because for me that's the most bland. I hate Mayakovsky. I get that he's like, he's not supposed to be like you love him, but I just like his cartoony accent, how mean he is, how dull everything looks, and it's clearly the set of break bills just with like the saturation turned down. I'm just like, I hate this. I don't have much to say. If anyone else has anything to say about it.
The tricky bit with this sort of segment of the episode as well is like Mayakovsky and Penny are both operating at the same level. They're both like grumpy assholes. And Penny is hot, so we tolerate it. But it's just like they're both just like grouching at each other, and I'm like, this isn't. It's not fun. You need to go and get this moss. It does this. It's amazing. It does this thing. And Penny's like, I don't care. And it's like, well, maybe you should. Maybe you should know because he is helping you. Like you're being an asshole, but I don't even know why at this point. You're both just like dicks.
You're both so much more healed than me because I was like, oh, these sweet boys just need someone to love them. Oh, they're unavailable to each other. I'll just get in there and help them talk.
Maybe they explore each other's bodies.
I'm like, oh, we're trapped. It's cold.
I mean, it's like
I like the accent. The cornier the accent, the hotter the porn. That's my opinion.
They're doing Check Hunter and Break Bill South.
Justin, what did you think of it?
I liked how it subverted expectations. This show is really good at that.
Yeah.
So you start off thinking that maybe he is going to secretly give Penny a Dumbo's magic feather, and this all is just nonsense to try to help Penny. But no, he actually has a purpose. He's trying to do something. And then it's like, okay, now here's another thing to do to help. You can help me. And I like Penny a lot, but I do agree. I hate Mayakovsky. I don't understand him. It was a nice twist later on in the episode, which I'm sure we'll get to about his importance, but I see no purpose in him. I didn't like him the first time we saw him either. So
yeah, I like really don't like that episode in season 1.
I think there's an important reason why we have this storyline in the episode, and it's to foreshadow. Is this the first? I mean, I know that they've been talking about the wellspring kind of all season in the background, but this is the first time that Mayakovsky actually addresses like the practical reality of like what a well with that magic would be, and he's kind of being like a doomsday prepper almost.
Yeah.
He's like storing and stockpiling all the spare magic he can find, and that's going to be a really important component in season 3? ?
I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
after
never
the
remember.
tariffs hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So he basically is like, I have this pile of knots. You got to take them all out. And I'd be like, no, I'm gonna lay down.
I love it. Oh my God. Again, I love untying little knots. Why am I not there? It's my favorite thing to fiddle with knots for hours. I mean, I hyper focus. It's a neurodiversity thing.
But
Anyway,
also, it's
I
that
like
thing of
it.
like, when you're a teenager, don't tell me what to do. And now we're adults. It's like, no, please just tell me what to do. Give me a task.
I get upset if like a necklace is like crunched up and I'm like, well, I guess I got to throw it away now because I can't possibly
I
do
love
it.
it. Love it.
Yeah, in my notes I just say, and he has him do other stupid tasks. I forget what the other one with isn't it like a table or something?
He has
Table.
to
Table
pile down
and
a table to sawdust. So I don't know how it sort of isn't clear how long Penny has spent doing all of this.
Yes.
But it takes a while.
Yeah, especially like without like people who are used to doing shit like this with magic. I would imagine it would take even longer than like one of us, even though it would still take one of us a long fucking time. Yeah, and so like, they're like at odds the whole time, but then we do learn that Mayakovsky is like stuck there, which I think, Justin, you mentioned in the opening, like the parallel between him and Elliot, like he can't leave. And why is that, Justin, that he's stuck there?
Because he was sleeping with students and then he slept with the wrong one.
Who happened to be who, Sabrina?
Who happens to be Emily Greenstreet?
Ah, I did not even remember who that woman was when she popped up.
Me either. I'm like, the entire episode, what is her name? I don't know.
It is a good name, though, Sabrina. You are right. That is like a good character name.
Yeah.
And I think you were on for that episode last season, because that's when like she goes to run and Margot's like, don't run. My shoes are crazy. Like, I can't run in them.
Well, I do love that we are referring all the way back to a storyline from the pilot. And they wrote that into the pilot. I mean, it's kind of like an origin story for Alice, but it's also like great lore that they can go back to and extrapolate more story. And there is more story with Emily. There's more story with Mayakovsky, and then also we get and we'll get there. But it's like we're being reminded what a Niffin is, because that's going to become important very soon.
Right.
I guess the implication is like it was fine that Mayakovsky was shagging his students until he tangentially became responsible for the death of a student.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, because I wrote down his quote because it's insane. I make love to many students and then I fucked the wrong one. Oops. And I was like,
yeah, I think it's like everyone was just kind of being cool. Like it didn't come up. And then Emily could not be cool. She didn't get what it was, and that sucks. Been there, bitch.
And he gets vanished off to this, sex addiction clinic in Switzerland, like Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, they go to situationship rehab, and then they tell them they're not allowed to date anymore.
God. Yeah, I mean, I really could see Dean Fogg being like, it's not my problem. Oh, someone's dead, now it's a problem. Like,
yeah. Also, all of these students are in their mid-20s.
Also that, yeah. I never quite know.
The last episode
what are we gonna? We're gonna worry about power imbalances. Isn't everyone like a nuclear reactor?
Also, fair point.
Also, none of these people are even going to class. There is not the teacher-student power dynamic at play.
They go to like one class every month, maybe.
They tell the dean of the university to fuck off like once a week.
Yeah. That's like this is so weird, and I promise this is true. When at orientation at New School, where I went for grad school, it's in New York. Whatever, the dean of New School, who was ousted like while I still went there, gave a speech, and in it, even saying this sounds fake. He was like, and good thing we got rid of the rule that a teacher couldn't sleep with a student because we have many adult students. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, and like his thing was, well, they're grad students, they're more adult. I can make those jokes, but like it did not go well. It was bananas because I remember like no, I didn't know anyone, just like kind of looking around the room, and every other student was also like, what the heck? Like looking around the room, and I think he was expecting like laughs and like clap, but everyone just was silent, and it was very awkward. And then I went to drink wine, like. Um, we learned that Mayakovsky is building a battery. As you mentioned, Philip, he's kind of the doomsday prepper here because he knows about like the what do you mean, like the magical brownouts, I guess? Isn't that what they call them that are happening? Because I think the professor last
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw him that last episode.
Yeah, they're brown, all right.
Yeah, and I guess that's I also feel like the story doesn't have like a good conclusion. I don't know.
No, I guess he just like Penny gets sent back to Fillory to find this MacGuffin thingy. He has a great line. He calls Penny a fancy scarf wrapped around an idiot.
That's so good.
It is
I love that we're finally addressing the scarf in the room. And then I guess Penny gets sent off on this little mission to find this magic moss. I have no memory of where that goes.
Me neither.
The Penny's hands story, I just like, it comes on screen and my brain goes
Butthole magic. It goes to butthole magic.
I did not remember that. But you are right. I do now. I do remember that.
I always remember the butthole magic I've seen.
It's funny because when Kim and I went to Arjun's like bar restaurant in New York, the thing he told us was that when they styled him, he actually like the shirts weren't supposed to be so open. He thought that was how they wanted him to wear them. Like it was supposed to be buttoned up, but he just like opened it. And then he was like, and I thought I looked great. And then afterwards they were like, that's not how you're supposed to wear that shirt. But then they all liked how he looked. So they just kept
he knows how he looks. He knew what he was doing.
I mean, he even said, I thought it looked good. And I was like, I mean, it did. That's fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
Legally, I can't close this. So.
Yeah. It's in my contract. I cannot close the shirt. So
he's sorry for having great tits and correct opinions.
Right. I mean, I guess we'll go to Julia now.
Here we go.
To one of you, I can't remember who said this at the top of the episode. I will say this, for better or worse, definitely for worse, this storyline specifically in this episode for Julia has stuck with me because it's so upsetting. Like this episode feels like a really bleak horror movie, like the bleakest, slowest moving horror movie.
Literally, it's a horror movie set in 2025.
Yeah.
And that like the note I made on this is it's actually like this could just be a self-contained horror movie that's not about like magicians or anything. Like it's just like that setting and everything about it is already so loaded.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that we get kind of a further richening of the friendship between Katie and Julia.
I had forgotten that, and I do like their dynamic.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see the like female characters circle the wagons on something that's like, yeah, fuck all that other shit. Like, this is real shit.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I found it horrifying. I was weird at the one note I have, and I so rarely criticize this show, is I didn't like that when we first went for the appointment, it was a scary, like Nurse Ratched looking facility. It could have gotten there, right?
Yeah,
but did we have to shoot it as scary and intimidating to start with? Because that's definitely not the vibe when I've been with friends. And I didn't like love that. But then I thought, oh, well, they're shooting this in Toronto and maybe it just looks like that.
Also fair.
Well, and also like this would have been filmed like 10 years ago. And I think even in that time, sort of the way we talk about it and view it has shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
had to.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. And I forgot their friendship, like building stuff here. Like, I don't know why I forgot about this, but I do. Katie is not my favorite. But I like how, I'm sorry, Justin. I know Justin is Justin's favorite. But I do like, and this show does this all the time with all the women, where like they are like girl's girl, where it's like, no, this is important. Like you said, Katie is like, fuck all this other stuff. We're gonna put everything on hold. We're handling this. Let's go. And like
Yeah,
Katie is,
circle the wagons.
yeah, Katie is like very immediately, because Katie's like kind of hard and tough, right? But she like switches into like soft caretaker because she knows that's what Julia needs. And I do like seeing that. Like that makes me like her, because it's like, yeah, that is. And Julia has not caught a fucking break. So it's like she needs someone to just be nice to her.
Where Julia never catches a break.
Yeah.
And again, considering kind of the time that this would have been kind of airing, the fact that we have the storyline where Julia, wants to terminate an unwanted pregnancy, and Katie is also sharing the story of the time that she made that decision as well. And I think we're a lot more used to having seeing those conversations in media, but it's the fact that Katie is presented as a character that made this decision and it's part of her life and part of her history, but it's not something that defines her. We don't need to keep going back to it. It's just one tiny thing about her.
Yes.
And I really like that.
And I like that she was like left right into motion, similar to how I really like how Julia was like, she was like, well, we can discuss options. She's like, I want an abortion.
Yeah.
And she said it with her whole chest. I was like, good.
Yeah, I also appreciate that we didn't, because like, I hate this storyline where like we don't talk about abortion as an option, or like it's like, oh well, no, I don't want, and it's like in this situation
that makes quickly dismissed.
Yeah. I appreciated the like frankness of, nope, that's what I want. And I felt bad for her because the doctor clearly doesn't assume a supernatural thing, right? So the doctor's like, oh, it'll take a few days, and she's like, I don't have a few days, we need to do this now, because I thought of Cordelia in season 1 of Angel, how like she's pregnant and then like in a day or two is
Anytime there's a supernatural pregnancy on any show, that baby is arriving like today.
Yeah.
Like, that baby is 47 years old and it hates you.
Comes out holding a knife. Like
it hates you.
So
I love the fact. Well, these two characters, I couldn't picture Alice in this scene with them. I couldn't picture Quentin. I'm so happy she's so far away from all the Quentin nonsense in season 1. But I just love the fact they finally got these two characters together, and they're perfect for each other, quote unquote, as they said on the show again, best bitches.
Yeah.
And I hope they continue this, because I really don't remember if they did. So there you go.
I don't remember either. So much that I'm like, I have watched this, but I don't remember. We got like 85
best though. That's the best though. I did that to myself with Mad Men like 3 times, and I just tried to do it again. And I was like, no, I remember everything. I can't do it again. The trick's over.
Yeah. When they go the next day to the appointment to get the abortion, the secretary, we assume Reynard, it's like, she's not even there. The secretary's like, there is no Julia Wicker on file. I was happy that she calls the doctor, and she's like, the doctor's just like, yeah, let her in. Like I was, but I mean, I was glad that happened, but then I guess not, because I know what we get once she goes in.
Was it the baby doing that? Is that right?
Oh, I assumed it was Reynard.
I
remember that.
I remember.
Like it's not fully explained. It's like, oh, when there's a godlike pregnancy, there's just some law of the universe that it can't be interfered with.
Yeah. To me, it felt not like it was like Reynard being like, because if it was Reynard would, I mean, spoiler alert for the next episode, it doesn't work for Reynard to like constantly know where she is and be doing things around her. But I've done it again, Ian. I've done it again. It reminds me of Charmed.
Yes. With the baby protecting.
It's a powerful baby protecting itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love from Charmed. That's one of my favorite like pieces of iconic Charmed imagery. It's like the orb shield popping out of her belly all the time. I was like, hell yeah.
I love anytime Sabrina is on this podcast and we get to talk about Charmed.
We walked away and I was like, I'm gonna do it. Everybody take a step back. She's doing it.
Phillip, take a shot. Sabrina brought up Charmed. Yeah, and it's like really awful to watch. Like I genuinely skipped ahead a little bit once it started. I was like, nah, I don't need
Yeah, I did too. I muted it and I covered my eyes. I was like, nope.
Yeah, it's just like so miserable. And like Julia's there in the like gown with like on the table, and that's when they start like murdering themselves. And what the doctor like, she doesn't, I guess, kill herself necessarily, but she like gouges her eye out with a fucking
she's fully dead by the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she put that fondue fork right to the back.
God. Oh.
Yeah,
I remember when I watched this show, because Kim was the one that convinced me to keep watching. And I remember when I got to this, like texting her and like being like, what the fuck? Like, this is miserable. And she was like, yeah, that's a miserable part. I'm sorry. But Katie runs in to help. She hears a scream. I did like the detail of, I don't know if y'all noticed, the secretary is still just like blankly sitting at her desk because like part of whatever spell.
Yeah, it's really effective how in both scenes with the receptionist, she's just like completely like affectless.
Yeah.
Like she, the way like she deletes the appointment and she's just like there's no expression on her face. She's completely unaware.
Yeah.
It's very creepy.
Yeah. All right, do we want to go to Quentin's plot? another slapper?
Yeah, let's lighten it up.
He's working with Emily Greenstreet and they go out for drinks. It's like almost like when you're talking about like an ex you're still like hung up on, when you're like, I don't even need him. I don't even need these spells. What do they even do? They do nothing. But it's like
Ian, it's me on all my dates. being like, so what'd they do to you?
But I do like that she spills her wine, and it makes sense, right? Like it is like second nature to him to just be like, doodaloo, like here's a little spell to fix that.
A minor mending, if you will.
I was just going to say that. But also it's like, I'm sorry, if I was a functioning alcoholic in the way she is, I would expect her to be less messy about it. We all know how to drink red wine like this, with your hand under your chin.
Jesus, Phillip.
Or also, listen, if you're a dabbling and you're a pretty drunk, you're gonna know how to make stains pop out. I mean, what are you on TikTok shop looking for fucking detergent? No.
Yeah, she said she never casts. The spells complicate things, which like they're also not incorrect when they're saying that, because I feel like every spell they do on the magicians creates 85 more problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing the thing that Buffy did, where there's a bit of a kind of addiction falling off the wagon.
Yeah.
Happening. But I kind of found it more relatable here, because at first she's like, absolutely not. I would never touch the stuff anymore. And it's kind of like me in my 20s when I'd be like, no, I'm just going to have a few drinks. And then like an hour later, I'm like, should we get a bag in?
Phillip, that was how we were in our 30s when we went out drinking when you were in New York.
Oh yeah.
I'm currently in my 30s. Listen, I like that it works better because like Willow's magic addiction thing. Listen, I love the show. It's not my least favorite storyline, but I get why it doesn't function as like emotionally for a lot of people. Whereas this does, because it's also like when you're going through what they're both sort of going through, which is the end of a relationship, whether it's a breakup or not, there is a sense of being a little addicted to the grief, a little addicted to the good memories and the bad memories, and talking about it, and then talking to people who talk to you about their ex, but really you're waiting to talk about your ex. And like, it's fucked up, but you cannot get off that ride until you get off that ride on your own. And I think Emily Greenstreet is really convinced she's off that ride. But the way you get off that ride is to like process it, not to like, I don't know, suppress it and then have these bursts of binge. Like,
yeah. I do have a question. Do we think this is the first time she's like done cheat day where she does a spell, or do we think this is like
No. That girl's a liar.
Dean Fogg's cleaning that shit up every fortnight. Okay.
He's like, oh, she did another fucking spell. Great.
He's like, all right, I guess I gotta put the Brooklyn Bridge back. Fucking
I did find the like the magic smoke rings very cute.
Yes.
And it's just one of
Yeah.
those details that the show does so well of just like finding ways to use magic to play.
Yeah.
And they do that. To your point, Sabrina, we love Buffy, but like in Buffy, I didn't love that it's like, oh, well, they used it for play, so now they need to be punished. Like in Magicians, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, they can fucking
And
do it for
again,
play.
Charmed, who's not allowed to use magic for anything. What a fun show. What a fun television show where you're not allowed to use your magical powers. No, that's why I love the Magicians is they just rip. They're just like, they're like me when I first got an iPhone. Like, what else can I use this to ruin? Like,
It's AI.
yeah, exactly. It's me on ChatGPT talking about my ex.
Making a little action figure out of them.
Why did he do that?
God. Yes, I. Fucking Christ. Justin, what do you think?
I'm giving you all a window into my SZA ass reality. I'm so sorry.
Justin, what do you think?
I hated the Buffy storyline completely. I didn't like the fact that it seemed like magic was okay. And then all of a sudden it's bad. It's addicting. Something horrible is going to happen. Oh, I'm going to destroy the world. At least here, it's always been there's a dark side to this. You do this, it'll cause other problems. I love seeing them just hanging out and drinking during lunch because that's what we used to do when I worked in Midtown. We go downstairs, get a few drinks, go right back to work because it makes their lives bearable. That's all they got going on. The way that the office looks, the way that it's shot, I love all of it. But mostly with this particular character here, this Emily Greenstreet, I wasn't sure what to think of her during the episode because we'll get there. There's some stuff that happens where I'm like, okay, what's going on with this one here? She doesn't seem like she's quite adjusted back to being somewhat.
Yes. Well, I think it's what Sabrina said. She's fully pretending. She's like shoved it all down, like deep down, and is just
trauma loop.
Yeah, she's like pretending she's okay until she has these cheat days where she cracks and is not okay. And then we do it again where she's like, no, now I'm better. Well,
I wonder how often she does have cheat days.
Yes.
Though. I think with Quentin, he already knows what the situation was. She doesn't have to explain too much. And I'm not sure how many times she's connected with other people that both went to break bills and also understood because he went through this with someone else.
Yeah.
It's a unique formula that happens with these two, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. Because I think it's like she could have cheat days, but not this intense or like this, like, she's opening herself, like you said, Sabrina, to be like, well, she blew up the Brooklyn Bridge. Not like, I'm going to have an emotional, like, you're going to become my ex.
Sometimes you do drugs with someone and it feels like doing the personal development work. Sometimes you're on your fifth date and she's like, you want to do Molly and have sex? And you're like, yeah. And you talk about your feelings and you're up all night and you're like, that's amazing. And then 12 hours out from that, you're like, I have problems. I have to book double therapy this week if available. Like, what am I doing?
Stop saying the quiet part out loud.
You feel it. You're like a breakthrough. No, you're on drugs.
No, Ian, you just smoked 6 joints in a row. So no, there's no breakthrough. Jesus Christ.
You had melatonin and a gummy. You were fine.
Yeah.
It has the cadence of two very vulnerable, damaged people who are essentially, doing drugs or doing this escapist thing together. And the way it's sort of filmed and plays out, it feels kind of cathartic or therapeutic, even like while you're watching it, after the revelation that it was Mayakovsky. I also really like that when they're casting the illusion spell, we hear their real voices. It adds that really uncanny element to it. And she doesn't want sex. She wants a different kind of intimacy, even if it's, even if she knows it's pretend. It's really sad.
So sad.
Yeah.
And then with Quentin, when she looks like Alice and she's naked and she's got, the Alice boobs that we all know so well, he's like, oh, well, I'm sad, but I'm still going to fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm sad, but I do have a sad boner as well. So
Well,
Uh,
I don't want to put some good magic to waste.
I love
gosh.
No, you can't waste that.
I love when she tells him, "Do you think you should do a Russian accent?"
And here's the thing. I'm wading into some territory that trans people aren't going to like me to wade into, right? I'm not here to be gender essentialist, right? But he wants to come on her face, and she's like, let's just cuddle. Like men, women, men, women. If a vision of someone I had grief for appeared in front of me, I would not be able to have sex with it and have a good time. He can. And I think that tells us a lot about Quentin. I really do.
You're not incorrect.
It's horrible.
Also, he wants to come on her face.
Well, it's a very magically expensive face to put back together and then done an illusion on. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was not to get too grim, but I was thinking, like, as someone who has a dead ex, I was like, I don't know that I would at all be able to like get in. Like, yeah, they were hot, but like, this is a dead person. Like, that's all I would think of, right? Like,
and it's not them, right? It's just you doing this weird, sad thing. Like, you would need to really be on drugs and have a lot of music playing. And then at that point, you're like, why am I
doing
this at all? Like, I'm already on drugs and at a rave. I don't know.
I can just lay down.
I will say, before I forget, I do like that in The Magicians, no amount of magical ability can get you out of having to find a good surgeon. I think that is a great equalizer.
Fair.
Don't do your own nose. Don't do your own nose. Classic advice.
So they wake up the next day, and unfairly so, Quentin is just like, I gotta go. Like, he's like very like,
well, we've all been there too.
Yes.
Been there. I was like, oh God, I'm in the room. I can't find my pants. I feel disgusting. I can't even look at them.
Yeah, you're like, my hair smells.
No, this
My
is
hair
fine.
smells.
I just really need to get to work.
Yeah.
I care about my job all of a sudden.
I'm like, I just put my shirt on and it has cum stains on it. Well, I gotta go anyway. Let's just keep moving. Like,
you're like, I'll just buy new AirPods. I can't find them. Have a good afternoon.
Keep them. I don't care. I gotta go.
When you said, I feel awful, I feel worse than before, I'm like, good, you should. That was horrible. Plus, he spent this entire time, from the start of his day till after this scene, trying to write a letter to her parents. And that was a whole thing. It got longer and longer as the episode went on. And I'm like, dude, you need... Plus, he's not mentally stable in the way that we think he is anyway from season 1. We know he has a lot of problems, but this isn't really helping. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Again, like, I weirdly think her reaction, to your point, Sabrina, is healthier to be like, let's just like, can you just talk to me? Like, just let's... even that would be weird, but that's less weird than fucking someone with a dead person's mask. Like, neither are great.
No.
I guess also because Mayakovsky's alive, which makes it also weird. It's like, well, that guy does. Could she not go visit him? Did we address
That's what
that?
I was wondering.
Is it part of the deal when Fogg, like, relocates you, that it's like, okay, you're back in the real world, you're not allowed to visit any of our institutions anymore? You're
sure.
out.
That would make sense.
It's an easy
it's
an easy explanation.
Yeah. And then does he write a resignation email? Doesn't he quit too at the end?
No, so we see him sending that email to
right.
his parents, and he's walking to work. And then who does he see in the street, Ian?
He sees Alice glaring at him with like spooky ghost dead girl eyes and like the dark makeup.
She lost her glasses.
And that's like
I gotta say though, I love the makeup on the show, and everyone always looks amazing. This is a little Universal Studios for me. I was like, nobody's ever looked that dead Beetlejuice.
It's very how every American horror movie now has like a creepy dead girl with hair like hanging over her face like this. It's very, The Ring, The Exorcist. it's a bit much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the bleak note the episode ends on, which is like, what did we
I know.
achieve? Like,
There is a certain emotional reality to it that I like, though. Like when you're grieving somebody and you do see them everywhere.
Yeah.
And you might almost get hit by a car because you thought you saw them on the other side of the street. Like that feels like, again, The Magicians, it does all of its weird stuff, but it's tapping into something, I think, quite real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I think
agree.
it's just at the end of the day, like you have to do the work, which is like sitting with the grief. You have to follow it. You have to like, I mean, I said like a year, less than a year ago, but I said like to myself at some point, like I have to be friends with this horrible thing. Like you have to find a way to integrate the grief into your life and normalize it and stuff. And I think, yeah, he's been seeing this weird like thing at the edge of his vision or his mind and then like running from it. But yeah, look where that gets you. And then you're Emily Greenstreet. You have to unfortunately get almost hit by Regina George's bus to emotionally process.
Yeah. I think of the Miss Piggy quote, where it's like, time heals all wounds just like a broken arm. And I always think of that as like, it heals, but it's still there. Like, that's what I always think of. Like,
That's a Miss Piggy quote.
she says, time heals all wounds like a broken arm. That, like, the like a broken arm is the Miss Piggy part. Like, she's using that quote.
No one is doing it like her. She is like fucking Nietzsche.
God. So let's go to Fillory, an assassination plot that is weirdly the more upbeat plot.
Because at least Elliot and Margot know how to have fun when there's a risk of death around every corner.
Yeah.
And I have to say, now we're starting to see them both, because I don't think we've seen a lot of her in them, but we're starting to see them both in their Fillory outfits, and they wear the shit out of those outfits, like
sexy pirates. Let's just say it.
Yes.
Yeah. I kept thinking how fun for the costume department to just be told, like, all right, yeah, listen, Emily and Quentin are just going to need some shirts, but we have Margot in 15 scenes and we're going to have 15 outfits.
And I feel like her outfits are always like a jacket on a like cinched top with like tights and then like just a weird
New
cape
earrings,
thing.
new bracelet, new skirt every time. Yeah, that would be me.
Yes, it would be. You're like, I need my like 8 queen
Series
outfits
of crowns.
a day. Yeah.
Margot's crown is gorgeous.
It
The golden leaves, the way they like interweave, it's stunning.
Yeah.
I like never would be like, this person looks good in a crown, but she looks good in a crown. Like,
Yeah.
and like her hair, they like the way they style her hair with the crown, so it doesn't like
so big.
you're
so
perfect. Good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell Summer all the time, I'm like, most of our Magicians coverage is us saying how pretty you are and how much we love you.
Yeah. And we're not there yet, but there is a point later in this season where she gains the most iconic accessory.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like her thing for the rest of the show, and it's so good.
So
good. Hard to pull off, but yeah, when you're smoking, not.
Right. Same thing with the crown, where it's like, yeah, fucking, of course she looks good in a crown because she's so hot. Is this the first time? I think it is the first time we've seen the talking rabbits.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
My favorite outfit of the season, that rabbit in his little ruff, so cute. I love him.
So
I want to be a rabbit in a little ruff whose job is to yell "Pregnant!" I want that job.
So Elliot's trying to invent Prosecco and wine. Like that's like what he's trying to do. And, and then Fen runs in and says she has news. And the rabbit yells pregnant a lot. I really like Fen. I'm always endeared towards her because I find her endearing and I find her like, I feel bad because she's excited about this situation. And like Elliot is like everything about their situation. Elliot did not want to marry her. He is... I think he says later or earlier that like about his like, sometimes I don't mind trying it, but that's not what I want to do all the time because he like leans more gay, or like whatever. Like he says, like he tries pussy sometimes is I think what he says. And like Fen
Thai
doesn't
food. It's like Thai food.
right, and Fen doesn't seem to get that at all. Right?
Yeah.
There's this sort of naivete about Fen where I think she's sort of written a little bit younger to begin with. And she is kind of this like arranged child bride almost. We know that basically she's known since birth that she was going to be given to the king as a wife. And so, but she's on board with it. She's accepted it. And she's like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to be a good wife. Again, in a different way to Emily Greenstreet, it's just like, it's a very sad because Elliot is at this point in the story, at least, unable to be a good partner to her.
Yeah.
So you just see her doing all of the trying, and he's off there making terrible wine and eyeing up the guards.
Yeah. I think it's also like I just like that they flesh her out. Like
Yeah.
a lesser show would not have done that. But I
Mm.
also think it's
Yeah.
like I think when you first arrive in Fillory, right? You're like, I'm on a magical adventure. They do occasionally need reminders that like other people are real. And I
Yeah.
think that that's true of the world.
Yeah.
And I think like they are particularly privileged people in the world. And it is a good real world example of being like, oh, like other people have feelings, your other people's lives are being messed with. Those people of making promises to you, those are real to them, like they're not
Yeah.
optional or whatever,
Yeah.
And I think that that's a great lesson also just like for people in a leadership position. It's also like being a boss. Speaking of fucking your students, it's like also like being a boss where you're like, oh no, this is all real. Like, and the problems of the kingdom are real and their complaints are valid. That's tough. That's tough
Yeah.
to learn that people who don't like you are valid. No.
So he is jumped by an assassin, and Margot, of course, saves him.
Yeah.
And Pick tells Elliot the assassin was Fillorian and that they should do a public execution. And I like that this is a thing we do go back to, that like Fillory has these like bananas like execution ceremonies that they do. And he says like, we're not barbarians. We should just bed of 1,000 spikes. And it's like, what the fuck?
And then
again, it sounds so fanciful, but you're like, but when I'm the one doing it, it feels so real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get the I don't know if it's her first introduction, but we get the sloth.
Yeah.
And her interpreter slash boyfriend giving a very violent suggestion of being drawn and quartered by centaurs. And okay, so Margot says that sloth is psychotic, but I had to rewind it because I thought she said that sloth is iconic. And honestly, I was like, I could believe Margot saying that.
Yeah. She'd like get a kick out of this like very violent sloth. But I do like that line, and I do like when she says, when we're the least snobby people in a room, there's something wrong with the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they refer to him as a commoner.
Yes,
So.
yes.
Yes, it's that they've come into this magical kingdom, they have assumed the throne, and yet are acting surprised that there is a class system.
Yeah.
The thing I really like is we tie all this kind of together in season 3, in one of my favorite episodes in season 3 towards the end.
Mm.
And I like all these little hints that we're dropping about Fillory that work in someone's favor in season 3. And I just like, I keep picking up on that, which I never did before. Like, they're like, like it reminds me of not to be that person, but Sabrina and Justin, like our elections, when it's like, well, no, that couldn't possibly happen. And then we're like, well. So they go visit the prisoner. Well, wait. So first, before that, they go visit the prisoner.
Well, Elliot was trying to be emotionally open with Fen, which I thought was really cool. But right before he was attacked, talking about his own father,
Yes,
which I thought was something that was kind of profound, because I don't hear him do that often.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like being in charge of Fillory brings a lot of that forward, because in like one of the previous episodes when he's like, I know I grew up on a farm. I know how to do this. I don't want to have to do this. I hated where I lived. Like I hated where I grew up. And I like when we can see the little bit of vulnerability coming through with Elliot and or Margot. I mean, he's a little bit, I don't know. Would we say he's a little bit more vulnerable? I think he's a little bit more vulnerable than she is, right?
Yeah.
Neither of them are like vulnerable, but I would say he's
He's more vulnerable and less in touch with himself, which
I
is an
was,
interesting
I was
conversation.
he's more vulnerable, but Margot is definitely more self-actualized.
yes, yes,
She knows exactly who she is, whereas Elliot is running away from one aspect of himself, and this assuming this leadership role requires him to incorporate and face up to all the parts of himself, including the bits that he doesn't like, and he doesn't really get there until I would say like season 4.
yeah.
And
I think
for
you're
an episode about grief, I also think it's interesting because it feels like Margot always accepts the shit for what it is. And
Yeah.
Elliot's like, but I'm the saddest boy in the world. And it's like, that's not going to help your problem.
That is a thing, and that is a thing I love about their relationship. Is we'll get there in a second. So whatever, they go to visit the prisoner. And I love Margot laughing when he's like, the Foo Fighters. And she's like, what did you say? Like, and he's like, Margot, behave. And then later, like, after they've had a conversation at the end of that scene, when she's like, I'm sorry, Foo Fighters. And he's like, Margot. Like, she just like thinks it's so fucking dumb. She can't. I had forgotten where that bit was in the series. Like, that was a bit I remembered, but I could not have told you. Like I was like, I know there's a group named Foo Fighters. I don't know where that was in the series. Here it is. So I like when they leave and she's like, when's the last time either of us had to deal with political insurgents? And he's like, unless you count getting kicked out of a fivesome.
I want to know how he got kicked out.
Right? I'm like, I feel like with Elliot, he was probably too drunk or high and it was like pissing the people off. And they were like, all right, you're done. Like, get out.
I thought maybe he was sowing the seeds of discontent amongst
He was trying to he was trying to stage a coup and become the main one.
Yeah.
Become the apex top. Margot said she's gonna
These
go
are
to
the Dionysus seasons. I'm sorry.
Margot's gonna go to Break Bills. They get some books, and I love Elliot's line of and get some more Adderall while you're there. We see them with their chart, which is a chalkboard that's like there's an execution column, and there's another like political
like a diplomatic solution is in the other column, and the execution column is full, and the only entry in the diplomatic column is the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
I do like that we constantly are reminded that these two characters are like funny and ridiculous, but like kind of smart. Like,
Right. And we get another reference to Margot's love of nerdy high fantasy because she makes a Ned Stark joke twice.
which I do not get because
Yeah.
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
What?
Crazy.
Is Ned Stark who? Now I can't even remember his name. The hot
Sean
guy.
It was like a
Oh
Drew
no!
Barrymore Scream situation where you think he's going to be the star of the show, but then they just chop his head right off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's what Margot
starts
references in like episode 1 when she's like, we might be in one of those fantasy shows where they chop the heroes' heads off halfway through season 1. That's what she's referencing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
I love that consistent detail with Margot that she does love like nerdy fantasy shit because I love that.
Yeah, I love hot popular girls who like nerdy fantasy shit.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I feel a kinship with the hot popular girls who like high fantasy.
I don't know why.
I do feel though on like a deep spiritual level that Margot would fucking hate Akatar. I'm just putting it out.
Yeah, when she's like, "Get over yourself, Ned Stark." Ooh, Ned Stark, and that's what they put. The delivery there still made me laugh, even though I barely got the joke.
And I love sorry, this is a completely like random detail, but the design of this castle, I know from the outside it looks like a house in The Sims, but the throne room, they're like sitting in a giant bird cage that has like a round sofa. It's gorgeous.
And
Yeah.
that throne room set, you can find, there's a video of Summer and Hale touring that set. You can like find it on YouTube, and it's
Oh,
one of the, it's gorgeous.
there's a VR. There's a
Yes.
VR where you can go in it. It's really great.
Oh,
I'm so
wow.
sorry to all of the world for the horrible things tech has done, but it's good.
And like, right, Sabrina, isn't that set huge when you can go like going through it? It's
Yeah.
like, and Summer had told me they literally, that is the whole set. Like, that's so big, right? Like, normally it's not, I don't know, but I
Yeah,
guess
it's
it's the
huge.
main room they use.
Like a high school auditorium.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's like Sunnydale Library. Well, you're going to use it a lot, so put the detail into it.
Yeah.
The next day, they're like meeting with everyone, and Elliot decides, again, something that will play into one of my favorite episodes in season 3. Elliot decides that they are not going to execute the guy, which we love and appreciate. But I like the detail of Margot's like, I didn't decide that. I'm the High
Mm.
Queen. And they're like, oh, the High Queen can like raise concerns, but that's all she can do. Like, and she says, what is the line? I wrote it down. So this is what the patriarchy smells like. It's not the freshest.
Well,
She's so good. And
points.
yeah, and like, again, with how much I love their relationship, I love that what she's pissed about. She's pissed about that, but that's not the main thing, right? Like, she is more worried if they don't make an example, Elliot will get killed. And she says that she's like, I just don't want you to end up dead. And that's what I love about their relationship is like, she's pissed at him for like undermining her, but she's more upset about like being worried about him. Like, she's not, and she's like over this, she's over being mad at him once she leaves that room, but she's more just like upset and concerned. And I love that relationship of theirs.
There's also an element, I think, of Elliot like never wants anyone to not like him. So he's like really like he doesn't love the idea that there's this whole, rebel group who want to murder him. Whereas Margot doesn't care about being liked because she knows who she is and she knows she's fabulous. And she's like, yeah, if we have to kill someone so that we're okay, I will do that. And I don't want your whining about it.
Like, she
Yeah.
doesn't, there's no like, she doesn't even to blink to think, right? Like, she's just like, yep, that's what we're doing.
She's a realist. And Elliot is, the saddest boy in the world, as Sabrina said.
And I love him. I love them both the most. But I really
Just
like
interesting when a misanthrope is also a people pleaser. I always find that to be.
Yeah, Ian, that's really weird when that happens.
Damn, lighten your own ass up. I like it.
Fen goes to see the prisoner, and here we get some more character development for Fen, because we learn that I at first was like, is he implying the baby? But he's not implying the baby's his. It's just like they dated, right? Is that what he's implying?
I thought, wait, okay, what? I'm sorry. Okay, I have interpreted this scene wildly differently. I thought that Baylor was Fenn's brother.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't think they were together. I think, yeah, they're family.
Yeah, I thought he was referring to her being part of Valorians, the Foo Fighters in the past.
Well, that I got that she was part of the Foo Fighters, but I thought it was like they dated and were part of the Foo Fighters. Are they siblings?
Maybe. I wasn't the vibe I got. I got more like family vibe, like Phillip said.
That's fair. I'm sure that
Yeah,
I have the wiki open right now. I can go look at it. Oh my god, I love that I have the wiki open on Emily Greenstreet's page. That's what I have.
A sad queen.
All right, let's see. Baylor. This guy's in more than one episode. There is nothing in his wiki.
So much of this plot and all of season 2 just like blurs together for me. I couldn't tell you if we ever see him again.
The Wikipedia tells me we do.
We do.
So she does say like, if anything happens, she will like kill him herself, which I do like seeing Fen. I like this like detail we're getting of Fen, where like push comes to shove, she seems more like she'd be like, oh, okay, but she's like, you fuck with my man again, you're dead. And I like seeing that like she can pick it up when she needs to, right?
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
Elliot is being garroted, like she drops everything. She's like, right, let me get my knife real quick. And
Yeah.
then, if Margot hadn't stepped in and shut it down, Fem would have
Yeah.
really entered the fray.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
so good with a knife. We love her. We love her, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and that's the end of the episode. She threatens the guy, and then we get Quentin's sad end. Favorite outfit, Philip?
So it has to be Elliot's Elliot's king look. It's so stunning the way it looks. Like it's incredibly structured, but also lighter than air.
Yes.
It's very like 90s Mugler. And the way that like, he and Margot are styled very similarly. It's like the big poofy, floaty tops, and then like tight, tight, tight pants. Yeah, just great.
Yeah. Justin?
It would be the outfit that Margot wore when she ran out to save Elliot. And we may have seen it before, but we got the full view of it. And I just like the whole big poofy arm things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, I think they're right that they were a couple in the past and their relationship was complicated.
Oh.
Fen and Baylor.
Wait, what did you look up that told you that? Because now I need to see too.
I'm reading Nerdist.
Oh, all right. Aha, Ian was right for once. Sabrina, what was your favorite outfit?
I really liked Margot's like top that was like the like white balls that were really constructed. Alternatively, loving the rabbit with the puff.
For me, it's when they go visit Baylor and Elliot, he has like his jacket off, and we can see it's like a blousey top, but it like, again, to what you said, Philip, it's like looks almost like it would be uncomfortable, but it also looks very light. It looks like he just looks fantastic, and his eye makeup is done so well. Like he has like a little bit of eyeliner, a little bit of eyeshadow. Sabrina, that's how I want you to do my eye makeup for our next show. I was like, I want
Hell
this.
yeah.
This looks good.
That's what I'm going to tell you I'm doing.
Favorite scene, Justin?
I'm gonna go with the pregnant rabbit test thing. That whole, because it just would not shut up. It just kept going pregnant, and I love that. It was funny.
Sabrina?
I think it's I don't know if it's my favorite, but okay, my favorite like nicest oh this is nice was the smoke rings. My like most notable and maybe my favorite from like a filmmaking perspective is that horrific shower shit. Oh my god.
Fair. Philip?
Yeah, it's the smoking scene for me as well. I especially like the callback to the pony, because that is
Yeah.
a lovely, just like visual callback to Alice and Charlie. And it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, isn't this nice hanging out together? If you stop the episode there, it's great.
Yeah.
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 Two friends talking about their grief, and it's okay, and then
Stop the night when you've opened up to each other, not when you're doing crack.
for me, it's a Foo Fighter scene because it like legit makes me laugh out loud, and I love that Margot cannot keep it together because of how fucking stupid that sounds. And like I appreciate a joke like that where it's like, we don't need to explain why it's funny. It's just like, yeah, that's a band. Also, this sounds stupid. Also, that guy said it fully serious. Like what grade do we give this episode? I have no doubt I'm gonna have the lowest grade, as has been the case for the last few episodes. Philip.
I don't know that any episode in season 2 gets above a B. I'm going to say a B minus, because again, like the last episode I was on for, it's not like a particularly like favorite episode of mine, but it is at least moving the plot forward, and we get some really enjoyable interactions.
Sabrina.
I'm giving it a solid B. I have a lot of fun. I forgot how much season 2 hate there is around here. I have a lot of fun, and I think it is extremely memorable. And I wish we got more from Emily Greenstreet in the future, where her, like Amy the Rat, I wish we got more of a reckoning from this horrific figure that they've constructed. But you know what? Reboot, baby. Reboot around Emily Greenstreet.
Get her a spinoff. Justin.
I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
I wasn't that big of a fan. I liked the episode, but I didn't love the episode. If I had the option of rewatching it again, I would not do it for any reason, even if you covered it again. Mostly because I was so uncomfortable with the stabbing in the eyeball scene, and
Ugh.
also the whole thing with Quentin, just kind of, in retrospect, even while I was watching it, it just was unsettling that he would even do that with someone. Yeah.
All right. Y'all have convinced me. I bumped it up to a C minus. It was a D plus, but I'm bumping it up to a C minus.
Wow.
It's
A
just
D plus.
too bleak. It's just too. I needed more, because even the Elliot and Margot stuff, we get like some funny, but even that's like pretty serious for what we usually get from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed a little bit of balance, and it was
That's like the abortion X episode. Of course, it's bleak. Like, about being raped and left. What are you talking about?
So, like,
what are you talking about?
So I needed that. Shouldn't have been in the same episode where Quentin fucks someone who takes the form of his dead ex-girlfriend and Elliot.
So you're saying you think those two plots should infect something happy in another episode? Got it. Okay, I can see why you like the show.
Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for listening.
I love Slayerfest.
If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on all social media platforms at SlayerFestX98. You can find our video recordings on YouTube. All of our recordings are video recordings now. And if you want to listen to the audio, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you get your podcasts. Give us a good review and a 4 or 5 star rating because I appreciate it. If you want to support the podcast, we're on Patreon. We're going through every season of Buffy as it turns 25, X-Men the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series, and there's a bunch of other bonus stuff. Then if you want to follow me, I am at ENX Carlos. Sabrina, where can everyone find you?
I am at Magical Girl Sabrina on Instagram, and if you happen to know what Mastodon is, I'm on over there.
You always almost convince me. I know I made an account, but just never used it. But
listen, I am the queen of a fairy tale kingdom far away that nobody knows about, and that's cool.
Phillip, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Phillip Ellis. That's Philip with 1 L and Ellis with 2. It's the only place I am. I'm trying to figure out Substack at the moment, but I don't know.
Fair enough. Justin, where can everyone find you?
This Justin at various places.
Fair enough. All right, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.